Welcome. We are so excited that you are here with us today. We're going to be doing some amazing freezer meals. These taste so good. You are not going to believe that they are freezer meals, and we're going to make these from scratch, but they are super simple to make. So let's get right to it and dive into this first recipe, which is our Philly chicken sandwiches.
Oh, it's good.
You're not gonna believe how simple this is to throw together, and the flavors are all right there. To start, you're gonna put some slices of provolone cheese in a medium-sized freezer bag. Then you're gonna get out the excess air from your medium-sized freezer bag because air causes your freezer burn when you're freezer cooking. Then you're going to, in a large freezer bag, add some boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You could also use thighs if you prefer. A sliced green pepper, sliced red pepper, sliced onion, some seasoning salt, some minced garlic. You can use fresh or you can use it from a jar. And then you're going to squish all of that together in the bag to combine it. You're going to again get out as much air as you possibly can and then seal it. You're gonna staple those two bags together above the seam and get those into your freezer. This is so easy to throw together, and on the day you go to make this, it stays easy because all you're going to do is thaw it and just dump the large bag contents into your slow cooker. Cook it on low for 4 to 5 hours. You can also do this one in the Instant Pot and then it's ready even faster, 12 minutes actually. Then you're gonna shred the meat and put the filling on top of some hoagie rolls or other buns and top it with a slice of that cheese that you've got in your other bag there. If you want, you can then toss this in the oven or the microwave just to melt the cheese and eat and enjoy.
What I love about this recipe is that there have been times where I have actually made this with pork. I've already had like leftover pork chops or leftover pork loin, and it also slices really nice and evenly and lays nice. The cheese goes nice on it, and it's versatile. So if you want to, and if you want to do it straight with pork, I think you probably could, and it is just really delicious.
And such simple ingredients. The flavors that you get in this, it tastes like there's a lot more in there than there actually is, which is always the sign of a good recipe.
Yes. So, you know how a cheesesteak sandwich comes from Philadelphia? When I was a kid, I thought it was because it used Philadelphia cream cheese.
Oh.
I thought it was a brand thing. And so then the first time, like as an adult, I ever made it, and I'm like, this isn't cream cheese at all.
No,
so
it's not.
that doesn't make any sense. And I had to, you know, do some critical thinking there. And then I realized it was from Philadelphia, that's where it originated. This Moroccan style chicken is so flavorful and so easy and so healthy. You're going to love this one. It is not like your traditional freezer meal that you would think of, like a casserole or a soup. This is just boom. It's boom.
Boom.
It's boom. No, it's got wonderful spice categories. What are they called? Spice
Profiles.
spice profiles. And it was just a really nice thing to add into our repertoire. And it's just like a marinated chicken. It's just super easy. Everything from scratch here.
And healthy.
And it's healthy. You know, we love that. Into our bag, we're going to add our chicken thighs. You could also make this with chicken breasts if you'd want. We're going to add in some sliced onion, some green manzanilla olives that have been chopped, some pitted chopped dates, some minced ginger, some cumin, some coriander, red pepper flakes, of course, and some cinnamon, basil, salt and pepper. And to brighten it up, a squeeze of lemon juice and some chicken broth. We're going to mix that all around in our bag because, you know, here at Freezer Meals 101, we do not like to do dishes if we can help it. And so it's so much easier to make things right in the bag where you can mix that around. We're going to get all the air out that we can. We're going to seal it up and freeze it. On the day of cooking, we're going to thaw it. And again, couldn't be simpler. We're going to put this in a casserole dish. and bake it in our oven at 375 for 45 to 60 minutes. You want to use a meat thermometer and make sure your chicken is cooked.
The nice thing about these two recipes back to back, and we did these back to back on purpose because when you're doing batch cooking, it's important that you do your proteins together. So you do all your chicken, that way you're not cross-contaminating, you're not having to wash down after everything because your chicken's out. You don't have to be going back and forth with all the things, so it just saves time. So that's nice, but also with these recipes, I don't know if you noticed, but they both were using sliced onion. So then when you're prepping things, you can just slice a little bit more onion, as you always say.
What's it take to chop another onion? Or to slice another onion? You're already doing it, your cutting board's out. It just, again, saves time, it saves prep, it saves dishes, and that's just how you do it.
Totally. And so if you're gonna have your little bit of sliced onion here and then some sliced onion there, you have it all out, you have it all ready. You've saved, maybe it's marginal time with the onion, but when you stretch that out over a lot of meals, and if you double each of these recipes, which we
often do,
then you end up with so much time savings. So you're able to assemble these two chicken recipes in under 10 minutes, and if you throw in the prep for each of them in there, you're still sitting at around like a 12-minute mark, if that.
How long does it take to chop an onion? It'd probably take me longer to chop the olives.
Right.
Or pit them if they and the dates, because sometimes if you get dates that are like old, they are hard to chop. There is nothing better than opening up a bag of dried dates and be like, oh, I'm so glad these are soft.
It's true. And that's the other perk to doubling these, is because if you're gonna open a whole package of dates, you might as well use the whole package.
You might as well use the package.
The next time, and so then to use the whole package, you may have to quadruple these. Of course, when Christy and I make freezer meals together, we often quadruple all of the recipes because that way she can go home with 2 meals and I can keep 2 meals, because for those of you that don't know, Christy is my neighbor 2 doors down, and which has been so amazing.
I think so.
I wish that for all of you. Great
Everybody
neighbors.
should have a Christy.
Yes.
Everybody should have a Charla. I eat so much better because I know her, and she's just lovely. So that's really nice.
Aww.
Aww. So when we make our meals together, we've been doing it for over 12 years. Every 3 months we get together and we, just throw a few meals together, like 100 or more.
156.
We're not doing that again. We're not doing that again. That's too many because it was a lot. They're long days, but that's really where we get our tips, right? Like that's where we learned that you do want to batch your proteins together. If you're going to do your chicken for 5 or 6 recipes, we're talking like 20 some meals. That's bags of chicken. You really want to stick with the chicken before you move on to the beef and then do all of your beef. So those are some of the tips that we have learned along the way.
Now we're gonna move along to a shrimp recipe that is super flavorful, but I have to let you in on a secret. Christy doesn't like this recipe because it has coconut in it.
It has coconut in it. That's no news. If you've been here around for a while, you know that I don't like coconut. We have a few recipes. Charla has done a really good job of trying to avoid coconut in recipes, and you were so apologetic to me when you brought this, and you're like, Christy, this is going to be good, and I know you're not going to probably like it, and I'm really sorry about that, but we need it. We need to put it in the club. We need to make this for the masses. We need to share this recipe with the world.
And your husband likes it.
He loved it. He loved it. That poor man is coconut starved at our house. And I tried it and the shrimp was good. I had to stop. The coconut was just a little too overwhelming for me.
You were a good sport.
I was a good sport.
So,
I'll try stuff.
Let me share this with you, since really it's you that I made this recipe for, because I obviously didn't make it for her.
She did not make it for me.
So into 1 freezer bag, you're going to add some jumbo shrimp and then get the air out of that, of course, and seal it. Into another bag, you're gonna add some minced garlic, some minced ginger. We like to use our ginger from a squeezy tube. It's just easier and faster that way and still nice and fresh. Then you're gonna add in some garam masala, some turmeric, a can of coconut milk, a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, and some salt and pepper. This recipe gets its amazing flavors from that garam masala and turmeric, and also the ginger and garlic
and the coconut
all work together. And the coconut smooths it all out and blends it nicely, unless you're not a coconut person. But you're gonna staple those bags together above the seam once they're sealed, get them into your freezer. When you go to make this, you thought it cooks up so fast because you're just gonna heat the sauce on your stove top until it's boiling, bring it down to a simmer, add the shrimp in, and then it's about 6 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes really, just until those shrimp start to curl and turn pink. And you want to flip them over so that they get evenly cooked on both sides. And you can serve this one over rice. Now, in our house, we might serve it on coconut rice, actually.
We would not, to my husband's chagrin. When we used to go to that Thai restaurant that we loved, like our favorite that isn't there anymore. As a table, everybody wanted the coconut rice except for me, but they were always kind enough to like order the jasmine rice as well so that Christy could have some rice.
It's true. As couples, we always used to look forward to going to this restaurant, and when it closed down, we were all very sad. We have been looking for another Thai restaurant that we like as much, and we found some good ones, but never like...
We will never have that cashew chicken again.
Oh, it was their own
and the
recipe.
pad chan.
So good.
I know. And we're very sad.
Their tom yum gooing. I don't know.
I always say guong because there's 2 O's.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but the soup and the spice level on the soup was like you needed to have a box of Kleenex nearby. So good.
They're like, this one's spicy. Are you sure? And we're like, make our noses run. It's good. It's so good.
I miss that place.
I know.
And it's been years and years since they closed down. But so maybe we need to experiment with some Thai recipes because this one is Thai inspired. Maybe we need some more so that I can take away my sadness
from that restaurant closing.
From the Thai orchid.
So I remember hearing either it was like on Facebook or maybe it was in Reddit that they opened up another restaurant in the West End, but I could never go back and find it. Like I don't know. So I think I might ask. Like somebody will know because I don't think they left Edmonton. Okay, I'm going to find out.
That we should go there.
We need to go. And they'll remember us, like honestly.
You know, so for the mega sessions that Christy was talking about when we get together once every 3 months, I will pop one there. I think I'll pop our biggest one, the 156 meals, right up there, and I'll put it in the description below, just so that you kind of get an idea of like the scale that we're talking about here. But when we finish those, because it's 2 days of assembling the meals and about a half a day of prep before that, we would go to eat because we would reward ourselves. And even though we have all this food in our freezer, but we didn't want to cook.
You don't want to cook after making 156 freezer meals.
No. And so we said we were going to go every time afterwards.
And we've gone like once or twice. And once it wasn't even after because a week later because we were just so tired. So we have already mentioned that we are not super fans of dishes. And one of the ways that you can combat having to do more dishes is sheet pan meals. Like we also like one pot meals, but this is a good one. The sheet pan lemon pepper cod, or you can use snapper as well. For us, it's just kind of whatever is available and on sale. And both are good with this. Into our bag, we're going to add our fish fillets. We're going to add in some frozen green beans, some Kalamata olives, some olive oil, a little bit of lemon pepper seasoning, and some smoked paprika, and also some salt and pepper. We're going to mix that around. Again, no bowl. So we're going to mix that around very gently because fish can be tender. We're going to get our extra air out of the bag. We're going to seal it up and freeze it. And then on the day of cooking, it says so on the label. Now all of our freezer meals have labels. We put the date on them because we want to know when we've made it, but it also has the cooking instructions and anything else you need to do. So this label will say you're going to add a cup of baby tomatoes onto the sheet pan. So once you've thawed it, you've spread this out on your sheet pan, you're going to add your baby tomatoes because they don't freeze super well on their own. So we're just going to add them fresh on the day of. And then we are going to get this into our oven and bake it. You are going to love this. It is delightful. And I like anything that has lemon pepper. As much as I dislike coconut, I love lemon pepper. So that is like a nice one for me.
It's true. Like our lemon pepper chicken it's a contest for Christy if she likes the lemon pepper chicken better or the lemon mustard chicken, which ironically has lemon pepper
also has
in it.
lemon pepper in it. So yeah, I really do. And my whole family, like if we go out, my son and my husband will order lemon pepper chicken wings. If we make chicken wings at home, like if we get out the deep fryer, lemon pepper, like that's all we make.
My kids put lemon pepper on top of cheese and crackers. That's always been our thing. Like I started it.
That's good.
My friend Holly and I did this like when we were in junior high and high school.
You know, after school snack, you're like
our fancy snack. And so, yes, and then I taught my kids to do it and they do it. And so we have a big bulk container. I'll show you. This is our lemon pepper seasoning because we need something this large. And yes, we actually go through this and then have to get another one because the one we had before was a rectangle, but just as big.
Yep, usually these are like for restaurants. And some days I feel like maybe we are a restaurant, but we're not.
No.
We just go through it a lot. That and taco seasoning.
Taco seasoning, chili powder.
Chili powder.
Even
Italian seasoning. Jamaican jerk.
I have a lot of
shawarma,
spices.
I know. Yeah, you saw half of the spice cupboard. Some of you have seen like we've given you a tour before, and we won't do that today. But
so yes,
it needs a tour.
Lemon pepper is a thing, and I purposely designed the sheet pan lemon pepper cod recipe for Christy, knowing that she loves lemon pepper, because I felt like I needed to throw her a bone after making her eat the shrimp coconut curry.
See, you're so thoughtful. That's so nice.
So you told me this morning that someone is going to help you finish your crocheted bag. Tell me about this.
Okay. I learned to crochet this year. In 2024, I'm like, I am going to learn how to crochet. I have tried a couple of times and I don't have a lot of crochet people around me, so it was hard. It was just hard to learn just off of YouTube on my own, and I gave up. So I tried again this year, and in the meantime, I found a group of people that meet at a yarn shop. It's on Monday nights, and I go and I do that. So I got ambitious. I picked a pattern, I bought it off a lovely lady named Brianna K Designs, and it's a grocery bag. And I got to the top of it, and it's supposed to have 96 stitches. And if you are a crocheter, you know, you have to really count them. I think I'm off somehow because I have to switch colors then. And then I start on the next round, and I do not end where it says I need to end. I have done this 5 or 6 times. I have asked people for help. So I thought I could ask at my crochet place. And it's just for hanging out and crocheting. I don't know them well enough yet to ask for help. So the other thing I started doing, some of you know this.
So awesome.
Some of you know this. The other thing I've started doing is I dress up like Mrs. Roper from Three's Company. She was the landlady that lived downstairs with Mr. Roper and Helen Roper, and she wears the caftan, right? And the hair and the big glasses and the gaudy jewelry. And there's a bunch of us in our city, and we get together. And we go to, it was a blues bar, and we went and listened to a band.
So it's called Mrs. Roper Romp.
It's the Mrs. Roper Romp, yeah.
I think around the world.
So it started in California with a couple of men actually started it. And men do show up. We had a man show up at our last one, and he came with his mom, which is even better. He was 20. It was so funny. And so we dress up And so I saw it, like it just came through on my Facebook feed, and I like, well, that's interesting. I wonder if they have that in Edmonton. And yes, they have an Edmonton chapter. So I am in that, and I go and meet these people. So while we're sitting there in this blues bar on White Avenue in Edmonton, we started talking about Mrs. Roper's accessories and shawls. She often wore shawls, and we're like, we should crochet shawls. And a lady said, I have a bag that she had crocheted. And I'm like, I'm trying to crochet a bag and I'm stuck. And she said, oh, well, I'll help you. You're not going to believe this. Like tomorrow, I am going to her house. This woman I have met once dressed in a costume, and like identical costumes, but not really, because everybody has different caftans. And we all like, ooh, where'd you get your wig? And she is going to show me how to finish my bag. And I want to make this bag for my niece. She's moving to Australia. She's going to be living near Surfer's Paradise. And I thought this would be a lovely beach bag for my niece to go to the beach with. And the depths that I am going to finish this bag for her.
That is a kind thing you're doing, and it is a kind thing this lady is helping.
She's helping me. I'm making a friend out of this. And she, I'm just really excited about it. So Amber, if you ever see this, thank you so much. I'm really, really happy about it. And she's in my phone as Amber Crochet, because I gave that as her last name, Mrs. Roper.
There you go.
Yes, so I'm going to go see her tomorrow. Earlier, I had mentioned that it was important to put labels on because you want to know the date that you're making your meal. You want to know the cooking instructions, so you don't have to go look it up online every time. So it's really handy. And it has the title of your recipe right on there. So when you're flipping through, because let me tell you, it is, if that label falls off,
chili and spaghetti sauce.
They look a lot alike.
Similar.
But sometimes a curry can sometimes look like it because it's, similar coloring with the tomatoes. Like it is, you want to keep the label.
In the past, Christy and I have texted each other photos and said, any idea what this might be? Because sometimes if we're just making like a one-off, not for our big mega sessions or whatever, then maybe we don't make a label. Or in the mega sessions, I will often invent recipes at the end with our leftover prepped ingredients. And so we don't have labels made for those because how could we?
We didn't know.
And so most of the time I will take a Sharpie and write on the bag, or I will take a Sharpie and write on a blank label and stick that on the bag, which works a lot better than just the Sharpie.
Yeah.
But occasionally it's really it's been a long day and we're at the very, very end of the mega session and I get lazy and I think to myself, well, I'll remember. And then 2 months later,
when you get around to eating it,
I don't remember. And so we've had that happen. So labels are important.
Labels are important. So I don't know if you know this, but we have this wonderful membership called the Freezer Meals 101 Club. And why it's wonderful is because these recipes that we're talking about today, plus over 350 other recipes, are in this club. They are all tried and true, freezer ready. You can make these. They're easy. They're healthy. They are family friendly, they are foodie friendly. We have a lot of variety because there isn't probably one that is all of those things. You're not going to have the foodie and family friendly. In the club, then you can make a meal plan and you can select your recipe. From that meal plan, it is going to give you, through the magic of the membership, a shopping list of everything that you are going to need to make those specific meals. Now, you can even increase the servings to double them so that you can have twice as much if you want to make 2 of everything, because like we have said before, we always recommend that. If you're going to make 1, you might as well make 2. If you're going to chop 1 onion, chop 6 and make a bunch of meals. And then in that shopping list, there's also a prep list and there's labels.
The labels
make it.
Are worth the membership alone. But I mean, the shopping list and the prep list are also super handy, as is the ability to decrease the serving sizes if you live on your own, or increase if you have a large family, or if you want to double or triple or quadruple.
Yes.
So it's awesome. You should check it out. The link is in the description below. And you can find this next recipe both on our free website, freezermeals101.com, and in the club. and that is the Asian rice bowl. For this, all you're going to do is add some sugar or snap peas into a freezer bag, some peeled and sliced carrots. Now, if you want, you can also add some sliced green onions, but I had not used the club to print my shopping list for this, and so I had forgotten, so we don't have onions this time. Then a can of sliced water chestnuts that's been drained, some minced ginger, minced garlic, rice vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil, a little bit of melted honey, a can of baby corn that's drained, and some sriracha. Now, if you like things spicy, you can add lots of sriracha. If you are more on the mild side of things, you can just add a little or omit it altogether. You're gonna, again, squish these ingredients together right in the bag. This is such a beautiful, colorful one with your yellow baby corn and your green snap peas and your orange carrots and your white water chestnuts. It's just beautiful. And then you're gonna get this sealed up and into your freezer. This is nice as a side dish or as a main, depends on how many people you're wanting to serve it to, and you just thaw it and stir fry it in a wok or a skillet. It cooks up super, super fast because you just want those vegetables to be tender crisp. You don't want them to be overcooked. And you can serve this over rice or over a Shanghai or chow mein noodle, and it is nice and bright and healthy and lovely.
It is lovely. And I don't know if you realized while Charlotte was giving the recipe, but she said, you know, if you like things on the spicy side, you can add a bit more sriracha, or you can omit it, or you can go a little bit less. That is the beautiful thing about freezer meals, is that you are able to just make them how you want. Like, I don't think we could substitute out the coconut in the shrimp curry to make it satisfactory for me, but you know, generally, if, say, you don't have baby corn on hand because you forgot that part on your list, or you
forgot the green onions like I did,
or if it didn't call for it and you just really think it should have some baby corn, you can go ahead and throw it in there. There are a lot of ways to customize freezer meals and to make them your own. And if you have a favorite recipe of yours that you would like to make into a freezer meal, you don't always know what freezes well and what doesn't. We have a solution for that too. We have the What Freezes Well cheat sheet, and it will tell you, does milk go nicely in a freezer meal? Do raw potatoes go nicely in a freezer meal? Do tomatoes? Do canned tomatoes? You know, you have these questions, and we have the answers. So that is also down below.
I think in that coconut curry, you could substitute evaporated milk for the coconut milk.
Okay, so it is flavorful enough that I really think we could, because when I first started eating it, like I said, I like the shrimp. I love shrimp, so that was easy. And there was a tang in it because
flavors are good.
The flavors are good, but just the longer I ate it, the more I'm like, I'm just starting to not enjoy this. And I think it's the coconut. I don't have an allergy, but have you heard that if you don't like something, like vehemently don't like something, often you do have an allergy? So maybe somewhere deep down I have an allergy, and that is the reason for my aversion. But yes, that is something that could be tried with evaporated milk.
You totally could try that. Thank you so much for being here today. Well, we just showed you how easy it can be to make freezer meals right from scratch and get them into your freezer so that you don't have to think about what to make next week or even 2 weeks from now, because your freezer is stacked and you can relax.
That is the best part. That's my favorite part of having freezer meals.
Absolutely. Thanks again and happy cooking.
Bye.